She was already planted at the bus stop when the school bus rumbled down the street, brakes squealing as it slowed. Karen stood stiff, arms crossed, like a soldier guarding her territory. Her lips pressed into a razor-thin line. The moment the first kids stepped off, her eyes narrowed into daggers. My little girl, barely 7, hesitated at the top of the bus steps. She hugged her backpack against her chest like it was armor. But the second her feet touched the pavement, Karen lunged forward, her voice snapping like a whip. Your family doesn't belong here. This neighborhood has rules. The kids who had been laughing seconds before fell silent. Some shuffled back, forming a nervous half-circle, eyes wide, waiting to see what would happen. A few parents lingered on the sidewalk, arms folded, pretending not to notice but clearly listening. I was parked across the street, hands clenched on the steering wheel, watching everything unfold through the windshield. My heart thudded, not with fear but with a cold certainty. I knew exactly who I was dealing with, and she had no idea who she had chosen to provoke. Karen's voice grew sharper, slicing through the crisp afternoon air. She jabbed a finger toward my daughter as if pointing out a criminal. Next time, don't even get on this bus. I'll have you kicked out of the neighborhood school. Parents whispered in clusters. Some pulled their children closer, eyes darting between Karen and my girl, but no one stepped forward. That was Karen's way, loud, entitled, forcing everyone else into silence. She yanked a folded sheet of paper from her bag and waved it in the air like it was some holy decree. Your father trespasses every single day he drops you off here. You'll both be removed. Count on it. That was enough. I opened my car door slowly, deliberately. She didn't notice at first, too wrapped up in terrifying a child half her size. My daughter's eyes flicked to me, full of fear and confusion. I gave her the smallest nod, steady and calm. It was the signal she needed. Daddy's here. You're safe. Karen finally turned, her gaze landing on me. Her lips twisted into a sneer, and her finger shot forward like a weapon she'd been itching to fire. There he is, she shrieked. This man is a criminal. I'm calling the cops right now. Didn't flinch, didn't raise my voice. I simply walked toward her, every step measured. The more she screamed, the calmer I became. Karen fumbled with her phone, pressing it to her ear, making sure her performance was loud enough for every parent within earshot. Yes, officer. I need you right away. There's a dangerous man at the bus stop threatening children. She spun dramatically, ensuring her audience saw her as the victim. Parents gasped, shaking their heads, but none dared interfere. That was her method: create chaos, seize control, and pretend to be the hero. My daughter pressed into my side, her tiny fingers digging into my arm. Daddy, am I in trouble? She whispered. My jaw tightened, but my voice softened instantly. Not you, sweetheart. Never you. I kissed the crown of her head. Karen kept pacing, her shrill voice echoing down the street. What she didn't know, what she couldn't know, was that the number she dialed didn't route to some faceless dispatcher. It routed directly to me, because in this town I'm not just a father. I'm the chief of police. Karen finally slammed her phone shut and smirked with triumph. She brandished the paper again like it was her sword. You're finished, she hissed. You'll be arrested for trespassing, and your little brat won't set foot in this neighborhood again. This place has standards. I met her glare with one of my own, and let a slow smile creep across my face. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, I said softly, almost giving her one final chance to retreat. But Karen didn't retreat. She barked a laugh. What could you possibly do? That was when the low hum of a cruiser engine cut through the silence. A squad car rounded the corner, red and blue lights flashing, reflecting off every nearby window. Parents gasped and stepped back, pulling their kids away as the car rolled up to the curb. Karen's smirk widened. She actually believed she'd won. She marched toward the officer, pointing at me dramatically. There, that's him. Arrest him right now. The officer stepped out, calm and steady, his hand resting on his belt. He glanced at me once, then back at Karen, and his voice rang clear. Ma'am, you need to step aside. That's my chief. The words slammed into her like a freight train. The color drained from her face. For a heartbeat, the entire bus stop fell silent. Parents' jaws dropped. Kids stared as though watching a movie. Karen's arm slowly dropped, her finger curling back into her fist. Her mouth opened, then snapped shut again, as if she'd swallowed her own lies. The officer didn't waste time. He strode straight toward me, his tone respectful. Chief, you all right? Karen spun in circles, screeched. Stop filming. You can't record me without permission. This is illegal. The deputy moved closer, pulling out his notepad. His voice was sharp, professional. Ma'am, you filed a false police report. That's a crime. And harassing a minor, that's another. Karen's face twisted in panic. Her so-called notice shook in her trembling hands like a worthless piece of paper. No, you don't get it. I'm part of the HOA. I have authority. I stepped closer, lowering my voice so only she and the nearest parents could hear. There is no HOA here. Karen, you made that, and now the whole neighborhood knows it. Her lips trembled. For once Karen had no comeback. Around us parents whispered and filmed, their expressions shifting from fear to vindication. My daughter leaned into me, safe at last, while Karen stood exposed, the weight of her lies collapsing around her, and for the first time, she realized, this was one battle she couldn't win.